the final seconds.
Steve Ashburner of NBA.com currently has Brook Lopez and Jaren Jackson Jr. ahead of Evan Mobley for Defensive Player of the Year odds. Mobley has had a late surge in this discussion. Do you think he deserves it this year? If not now, when?
It's great that he's surging late. I think that Evan Mobley is the type of player that you and I expect are going to be talking about for years to come when it comes to the Defensive Player of the Year position. He's a very impressive guy when it comes to blocking and his defensive rebounds, his positioning under the basket. I think that he was made for this conversation. As far as it being his year, that's tough because he's not at the top of these stats, and frankly, I think that he's got a long way to go for what he can show us is his ceiling. And right now, even someone like Allen at times is at least equaling his play out there. Especially tonight against the Rockets, we saw some huge blocks against Allen. And I know blocks are not the only thing that matters when it comes to defense, but man, are they fun to watch. So, Evan Mobley is a once-in-a-generation kind of player. We really expect him to be the kind of force that can change the direction of our organization for 10 plus years to come. In the same way that LeBron James left his mark on this organization, we really expect that Mobley will do the same. So if not this year, I think future years, we're definitely going to see it. Because this kid has the heart and the drive and the skills and the ability to get there. So good job, Evan. And it's such an exciting thing to have you on this team and to have you paired up with Allen every night. It's one of the big reasons why we expect that this team has a shot to win it all this year and for years to come. Cleveland.com's Chris Fedor reported a few weeks ago that Kevin Love's heart is broken. Shattered, actually. Feeling like he could still play and wanting desperately to play with his guys, Love decided to ask for a trade and now proclaims the Cavs unofficially retired him by giving all of his minutes to Dean Wade. Speaking of lost communication between him and the staff, it's a really puzzling article. Thoughts?
When we heard the news about Kevin Love getting bought out, I think you and I were both surprised but not surprised, because Kevin Love's tenure has been so up and down. It's been so wishy-washy in respect to what he's actually thinking, what he's actually feeling. We know that he's a huge mental health advocate, and I think that this article comes across as someone who is still clearly working through his feelings, which is great, and his thoughts and ideas on what he wants to do for the rest of his career and how he wants to finish his career. And I think that really he probably has some people around him, or he himself, which again is completely legitimate, that has his ego in mind and how he wants to go out in respect to his career. And I think the Cavs were not really giving that to him, and I think that he did what he needed to do to actually dictate that. And I am a person who is really pro players and letting them get as much money as they want and having them have the ability to do what they need to actually get out of really bad, sticky situations, because we've seen that a lot in all sports. At the same time, I think the Cavs still would have given him a shot at some point to get some solid minutes, but he was not playing well. Dean Wade was playing a little bit better, but Dean Wade currently is still not playing much. And I think that the Cavs organization probably communicated enough to him. They don't need to communicate everything to him. And I think Love just felt like, you know what? Now's my chance to move forward and dictate more of what is happening with my career instead of maybe floundering a little bit because I'm not playing that well. And that's, as you and I mentioned when all of this went down, that is so Kevin Love in all regards that I am really happy for the career that he's had with the Cavaliers, and I think that if I had the ability to, I would probably go to his retirement, his jersey retirement, his number retirement, because he was still a guy that did a lot for the organization and the city and the whole NBA community. So I still respect a lot of what he is and who he is, but I think he maybe should not have done this interview and just let his communications folks handle stuff until after the season was over.
Thank you for listening to the Cavaliers Basketball Club podcast. Let's go Cavs!